Hi, I'm Joni Patry, and welcome to my YouTube channel. Well, today I'm here to talk about the second week in August. We're looking at August 8th through the 14th. And there is so much that is building and growing this month. You will want to stay tuned for this week because this is the week where Mars and Jupiter are coming together. And I see this as something big, really big happening this week. So get ready. We're all, white knuckling it till we get through the next few months. It's hellacious what is going on. A lot of changes, and it's like one thing after another keeps happening. So before I continue on, I always have to remind everyone to sign up for my free newsletter. Get all my predictions delivered to your email address. Go to galacticcenter.org. And furthermore, while you're there, check out my Patreon page. You can become part of a spiritual community, and I will be talking to you live every week. And last but not least, my Galactic Planner does all of this for your individual chart. Sign up for it. It is free the first month, and you can also use it where it delivers all of the aspects to your chart in your own personal calendar. So be prepared for every event. Go to galacticplanner.com. Let's get going and start finishing out this week because a lot is happening. So I'm looking at August 8th. And, I always look at the 8. 8 is very powerful. Yes, the number 8 is a powerhouse number. And I know the Chinese are very partial to the number 8. I love the number 8. I was born on the 8th of the month, by the way. But let's get going and talk about astrologically. The moon is in Virgo today. And while it's in Virgo, it's going to cross over K2. And I always find when moon comes together with K2, there is a sense of loss going on in the world. There's something where people feel that they're losing something. They feel that feeling in the pit of your stomach, like when you've lost something. That's what's happening right now. Now, I always say that sometimes when the moon comes together with K2, the stock market changes and usually reverses going down, but we'll see about that. It doesn't always happen, but I have seen that to be the case. And looking at the moon, it will be in the nakshatra called Hasta. Hasta is the nakshatra of the hand. It means hand, grasping and holding on to things. This is a very powerful nakshatra. Deals with holding on and owning things, being and understanding things. Things are starting to be clearer, but there's still a lot of things going on behind the scenes. And Mars is starting to align with Jupiter. It's getting closer. And what I see while Jupiter and Mars come together, especially around a certain degree, I'm getting earthquakes. And I know I said July. July is where it's revving up. August is really the month that I see where when I did the charts for San Francisco's earthquake in 1906, really Jupiter was at the degree of 23 degrees where it's coming together soon this month. So hang on there. There's going to be a lot of earth changes coming up this month. And Hasta is a powerful nakshatra. But I do get that the Mars, Jupiter, Uranus being in the 9th house, it isn't a good time to be traveling, mainly because Mercury is retrograde all of this time. Went retrograde on the 5th, and it's going to be retrograde till the 28th of August. So almost the whole month of August, we have Mercury retrograde. It's a time of mass confusion, foul-ups with computers and airports. All of these things will be great havoc and great difficulty. So watch out. Okay, so let me move on to August 9th. August 9th, the moon is still in Virgo, and it's going to be in the nakshatra Chitra. Chitra is a nakshatra that's glowing, white, shiny. It's a gem, it's a jewel, and it's actually in a placement close to the fixed star Spica, which is at the last degree of Virgo, and it deals with literary genius and the arts. So this can be a time of creative potential. But I still don't like Mercury retrograde with Venus in the 12th house from the moon. There's a lot of secrets and hidden agendas going on during this time. Chitra is a harsh nakshatra, even though it has its positive qualities. It is ruled by Mars. And Mars is revving up for a conjunction with Jupiter. That means more violence is about to break out. It's going to be more and more violent here to come for the next few days. So get ready. And the moon being in Virgo, it can mean issues around health and healing. So be aware that while the moon is in Virgo, and that would have been pretty much August 7th, 8th, and 9th, that there are obstacles dealing with health and healing. Therefore, there can be some pandemics or something that threaten the world. Be aware of this. And I see that there's a possibility of things that could be affected with Japan. So Japan and health issues and pandemics and earthquakes, Japan is going to have a hard time in the month of August. That is what I'm seeing. So let us move forward to August 10th, where the moon moves into Libra. And Libra is the peacemaker. Libra is kind, but I will say the moon for the most part will be in Chitra. And then by late evening, it's going to move into Swati, where it will be the 11th as well. But the moon in Libra, the Jupiter, Mars, and Uranus sit in the 8th house from where the moon is. What I do is I count from the moon to where all the planets are. And this really gives us a feel of what is going on globally in the world. This works. So what is the 8th house? Transformation and change. And many times it can even deal with endings and death. So I don't like these three planets, Uranus, Mars, and Jupiter in Taurus, being there in the 8th house from the moon. Now it's going to be in the 8th house from the moon the whole time the moon is in Libra. So this is violence getting ready to strike out. Problems. And Mars is 20 degrees of Taurus. Now is the critical time. It is within 1 degree of Jupiter. And you're going to find that this is going to be a big deal. So let us move to August 11th. Now, August 11th, we still have the moon in Libra. It is moved into the nakshatra. For the most part of today, it will be in Swati. And Swati is the nakshatra that deals with business-minded people. It's a day for business and making deals with people. Swati means people can be extremely convincing. Although, be aware that Mercury is still retrograde, but realize just because Mercury is retrograde doesn't mean the whole world stands still. I had a client in Turkey tell me that when Mercury's retrograde, the whole city practically shuts down in Istanbul. I don't know if that's true, but trust me, there's been some good things that have happened during the 3 weeks that Mercury's retrograde. So it's not like catastrophically don't do anything when Mercury's retrograde. But you must be more cautious because when it's retrograde, we tend to be more absent-minded. Okay, so, but the moon in Libra and Jupiter and Mars, critical things are building and could even start happening now, big things. So let me look at August 12th, We have the moon's moved into Scorpio. Scorpio is the moon's debilitation sign, so it's not a good place for the moon to be at all. And the fact that it's moving up to be in opposition with the Jupiter-Mars means big conflict is coming at this time. Now is the time things are really, really going to heat up. But I think the next few days are more serious. But everything could explode during the time the moon just moves into Scorpio. And what I'm looking at is Mars is within a degree of Jupiter. And Jupiter is 22 degrees, Mars is 21. What happens is Mars deals a lot with violence and problems. Jupiter expands it, it makes it bigger. And looking at the 12th, yeah, there's some critical things going on with where Venus sits. Venus sits at 15 degrees of Leo. There is actually a T-square going on throughout most of this month where you have Mercury and Venus opposing Saturn and the Jupiter-Mars in a square, and it creates a T in the chart. But while the moon is here in Scorpio, we have a grand fixed cross. All of the fixed signs are involved. Scorpio, Aquarius, Taurus, and Leo. This means that people are being more stubborn, holding back, and it's really hard to get things going the way they should during this time. Now I want to talk about August 13th. And this is where I do think things look critical because the moon is in Scorpio. It is in the nakshatra Anuradha, which is the nakshatra that deals with friendship. But it is ruled by Saturn, so this isn't an easy nakshatra for the moon to be in. It's in its debilitation, and Mars is aspecting it. And as Mars aligns exactly with Jupiter today at 22 degrees, this is a seriously dangerous day that things are really becoming heated up. And even Saturn is squaring this Mars-Jupiter conjunction. This is terrible, with Saturn squaring Jupiter and Mars and the moon being involved. Be aware this isn't the time to make peace with people. Well, it is a time to make peace with people because people will be at war with each other, whether it's just arguments with your neighbors or arguments with your friends or arguments with your partner. Be aware that this Mars is really in a serious place, and they're approaching the critical degree that I have noted major events happen, 23 degrees of Taurus. So they are within a degree of that today. So I'm considering that this day, the 13th, look out. Now let me move up to August 14th. I think August 14th is the most critical. I could say astrologically. Now, sometimes things don't happen exactly when you have exact aspects, but they are exact today. So what I'm trying to say is that Jupiter and Mars are exactly conjunct 22 degrees, and the moon will be 22 degrees in Scorpio. And the moon will be in the nakshatra Jyeshta. That is a very, very powerful and tough nakshatra. A lot of people say that that nakshatra deals with black magic, control, manipulation, a lot of things. It actually deals most specifically with jealousy. Remember that Scorpion's got a stinger, and the moon is in the last part of Scorpio today, and by the end of the day, it will be Gandanta in the last degrees of Scorpio. So this is all extremely critical. I could see where the moon being Gandanta can also mean storms and hurricanes brewing and coming, more floods and drownings and things like that, okay? And then I'm looking at, yes, Rahu and Ketu are going to be in positions where they're going to start, Ketu's going to start aspecting this Jupiter-Mars. So a lot is brewing. I was going to say, let's move on to the next week. So be prepared that we're going to cover more, but I left you where the planets on the 14th are in the most critical position I see, with the moon creating a grand cross with Jupiter, Mars, Saturn, and Venus, Mercury. Wow, that is a lot going on. And I'll leave you with this. Remember, if you want more information on me, go to galacticcenter.org. Sign up for my Galactic Planner. Go to galacticplanner.com. And I'll see you next week. Thank you.